Today, Baba is reminding us or giving us the Swaman that we are the instruments to create a new world where there is no sorrow, no sin. And Baba says that in that world there are no vices. Yes, so it is a viceless world. It is a world free of sorrow, free of sin. And Baba says we are here to become the instrument to establish that world. So do I stay in the consciousness of who I am and what big task Baba has entrusted me with? So Baba is seeing me as his own instrument, and an instrument that creates a world free of sorrow and sin, and a world free from vices. And you see, Baba today tells us that Baba is the Father, Teacher, Sadguru. And although, everyone in the world sings the praise of the Father, that you are the Father, Teacher, Sadguru. Tum Mat Pita Bandhu Sakha, everybody is singing. But nobody is practically in a relationship with Baba in a way where Baba is the Father, Teacher, Sadguru. Yes, but when Baba comes, we are having a practical relationship with the Supreme Father, Supreme Teacher, and Sadguru. And Baba tells us that I am the Father, I am giving you the inheritance, I am the Supreme Teacher, I am teaching you about the beginning, middle, and end of time, the story of time. I am also telling you about the theory of karma, and I am making you aware about sinful action, neutral action, and pure action. So Baba says, I am the purifier. So I am the Sadguru, purifier in a direct relationship with you. So we are the only children who are having a relationship with the purifier, with the teacher, with the Supreme Father in a very practical way. And although, so there are two things. First is having a practical relationship with somebody. And then second is taking benefit of the relationship. Yes, so I will give you an example. So when I was in school, I had a classmate, and her father was a physics professor, and she used to fail in physics. And her father used to always say that I teach physics to everybody, but my daughter refuses to learn from me. So what can I do about it? So you see, there is this fortune of having such a person who has mastery in a subject as the father. But the second aspect is learning from that person. And Baba also tells us that it is our fortune in Sangam Yuga that the Father, Teacher, and Sadguru is here for me in a very practical way. So earlier we used to call out to the Father. We used to say, remove the sorrow and give us happiness. Or we used to say, purify us. Or we used to beg and plead that God tell us what is what, tell us the secrets. But here we have Baba. But then I have to follow Baba's Srimad and take the benefit of these relationships. So Baba is here, and Baba has come to take us to the world of happiness, remove us from the world of sorrow. But I can only go if I become worthy of that new world. and become the instrument for creation of that new world. And this is why Baba is telling us that my job is to become worthy, and my job is to be an instrument to create that new world. Now, just ask yourself this one thing, that Baba tells us the difference between action, neutral action, and sinful action. And Baba tells us the difference is that Baba says in Satyug, all our actions are neutral actions. And from Copper Age to Iron Age, all our actions are sinful actions. Yes. So, how is that so? So, because from the Copper Age, vices enter the soul. And when there is a vice, then any thought, word, and act is a sinful action. And then Baba tells us how to make our actions pure. Yes, now just take one simple example. You are doing seva. Yes, say, is seva pure action? Yes. Is seva pure action? Yes. But then it could also not be that pure. How can that be? When your seva, when you're not doing it in Baba's remembrance, but you are motivated by something else. Yes, for example, I saw there's this one sister, and she was working in a corporate for a very long time. So when she does seva also, she's very result oriented. Just like you do a task and then you take up a project, and then you're always calculating how much was spent and how much was done. And she's always calculating all of that. And, if she has spent some 10 hours doing something, and then only one soul turns up, then she gets disappointed with it. And then one day she told me, I'm doing so much seva and then it's not happening and I'm getting very disappointed. So I said, you can never get disappointed with seva. Because seva, when you do seva, then the instant fruit of service is happiness. But if you're getting disappointed and losing heart, that means that you are not doing seva. And what is seva? Seva is not just the act. Of course, you're getting the benefit of the act, but then the intention, the attitude, the awareness, the feelings, they all matter. And Baba tells us that, if ambition or, result, these things are driving you, then that energy of purity is compromised. And just think about, I'm giving you the example of seva, which is anyways, even if it's not done with the purest intention, it will make you earn something because at least you're doing something on Srimat. But just think about the other things we do all day. And all day you see our body, our intentions, our awareness, our feelings, they are driven by ego, lust, anger, attachment, greed. So Baba says all that is creating sinful action. And Baba says that I have come here to remove you from the world of sorrow. Now sin and sorrow are connected. So wherever there is sin, there is sorrow. So if you cannot recognize sin, then you can recognize sorrow. And sorrow is not just a feeling. Sometimes when you don't have the awareness of sin, you don't feel sorrowful when you do something. So do people who engage in lust feel sorrowful? No, They don't lose their happiness. They, in fact, feel that they are gaining temporary happiness by engaging in lust because the intellect is corrupted. So you are not able to distinguish between what is sin and what is good karma. But how do you know it is sinful? Because you see, by engaging in this lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, we are falling. We are becoming worse and worse and worse. And you see that there was this one brother, and he always used to question about purity. And he used to tell me that you people are always saying, lust is a sin, lust is a sin, and I don't understand it. And I said, it's okay if you don't understand it now, just, relegate it to a different time that you will understand it later. And then, one day he asked me that when I was young, he said I had a lot of intuitive power, and everybody used to say that this person's tongue is dark. In India we say Kali Zaban. So this person has a dark tongue, and whatever he speaks happens. And he said that people were very wary that if I spoke something, then something would happen. And then he said, but I don't have that power now. So earlier, even if I said something about my father's business or my mother's health or anything, it would materialize. And I had that ability. Whatever I spoke happened. And then today, I don't have that ability. So what changed? So I asked him, you tell me what changed. So he said, Bas Didi, I grew up. So I said, but then you became vicious also. And that is why you lost your powers and virtues. And he said, how do I prove that? So I said, there is no proof. But you see, when we are children, our minds, intellects, our sanskars, they function differently. And then once you start engaging in vicious actions, then you lose all of that. And Baba tells us that now Baba, the supreme teacher, is making us understand that although, there is, you cannot see it very directly, like sometimes it's not like whatever you are doing immediately manifests as a result. And that is why you miss out the connection. But you need knowledge to feel that, knowledge to establish that connection between action and result. Yes, for example, somebody eats the wrong kind of food over the years, and then they have increased cholesterol, and they say, last 10 days, I didn't eat anything of that kind. So how can that happen? But that happened because of these years of doing it. And although you cannot see the direct correlation, it's there, and then medical science will make you understand that. Similarly, Baba, the ocean of knowledge, comes and tells us the connection between, body consciousness, lust, anger, ego, attachment. And when we engage in such actions, then our intentions, awareness, our feelings, our actions are not pure. And when they are not pure, then whatever we do is creating a sinful account. And because of that, sorrow is increasing. If you see, everybody is experiencing sorrow in one form or the other, or in many different forms. And all this is a result of vices. And nobody is able to understand the relationship between vices and sorrow. And that's why people are blaming each other, people are blaming other people are blaming countries, religions, and saying that our sorrow is because of you. And they are going to war with them. And Baba says, okay, that is also there in the drama, so those wars will happen. But Baba says that that war will not lead you to a world of happiness. So even if, one country waged war against another and finished that country, then also your sorrow will not finish, because your sorrow is not because of that. So Baba tells us the story of the beginning, middle, and end, and Baba gives us the knowledge of time, that I come every cycle in the confluence age and I teach you how to purify yourself, how to get rid of these burden of sins, and how to, finish the vices within you by remembering me. And when you follow my directions, then you become eligible and worthy to go to that new world of happiness. And Baba says that I am your father, teacher, and Sadguru, and I have come to give the inheritance of happiness. I have come to purify you. I have come to teach you. But even when I teach you, I know many children, Baba's children, they don't even pay attention to reading the Murli properly. So, reading the Murli, revising the Murli. Baba says, in the Murli, I am giving you all the, I'm cautioning you every day about what to do and what to be wary of. And you need to read the Murli every day. And you need to go through the Murli again and again and think about what Baba has told me, so that, that the knowledge that I'm giving you sits in your intellect. Otherwise, I'm giving you the knowledge, but it is not becoming part of your awareness. And that is why Baba says, in order to have a relationship with the teacher, now the teacher has come, but how will you have a relationship with the teacher if you don't study, if you don't revise? Yes. And then how will you have a relationship with the Father if you don't follow his directions? How will you have a relationship with the Satguru if you don't remember him? So Baba says one thing is having the fortune of having Baba in these relationships, but taking benefit of Baba's presence, that is another whole story. And Baba says, I'm teaching you everything. I'm teaching you about time. I'm teaching you about karma. But just ask yourself whether you are in that, because when you are vicious, then your karma will be sinful. So are you making the effort to become viceless? If you remember me, if you purify yourself with my remembrance, only then will you be capable of doing pure action. And sometimes I give you the example of the sister who is always, that doing seva in that corporate mode. And then I once told her, what is the basic requirement for seva? You remember Baba. Submit your chart of remembrance. So I see that, your balance of remembrance and seva is not okay. So then she said, okay, I'll pay attention to it. So these are the things that Baba is telling us. And then Baba today talks about family planning. And Baba says that in the old world, the government is also very interested in family planning and reducing the population, or at least putting a curb to the population. And then they say that you engage in lust, but don't let children be born. And that is the method that they are saying for birth control. But Baba says that it will not happen like that, because all the souls who have to come and play their part in the drama will anyways come. So there are souls who are still in the soul world, and it is, even if you try very desperately, the population is not going to reduce now. It is only going to increase. And Baba says that now Baba is teaching us how to, go back to that world of purity where the population is also less. So Baba says, now I am teaching you the method to go to a world where there are less people, there is happiness, there is peace, and that is the world which will be a world of family planning. And here it is not going to happen. And I remember, that there was this, so there was this one brother, and he was a very big, he was a position holder in the government in the National AIDS Control Organization. And then in that organization, since he was the decision maker, so he tried in giving this message that everybody should practice abstinence and embrace purity. And there have been people in the government. I know there was one minister also. He was the health minister at some time, and at that time, he tried to tell the government that we should teach people the value of fidelity in relationships. And when they will learn fidelity and not have, relationships outside of marriage, then we will be able to deal with these, problems that arise out of lust. But those attempts have always failed, because Baba says that this is not going to happen. At this time, nobody will be able to control the population, because all these measures the government has taken, and there are many people who have tried for it, but because souls have to come down, souls who are waiting in the soul world have to come down and play their part, whatever little part they have. That's why these methods are not going to work. And Baba says, now you people, we children, we don't think about reducing the population now. We just think about preparing ourselves and preparing, doing seva to create that world where there will be very limited population. So Baba says that just like, this old world will be destroyed. So we are not making efforts to make this old world better. We are making efforts to establish the new world. And there are many BKs who don't understand this. So they are attempting to make this old world better. But this old world is not going to get better. That's not in the drama. It's going to get worse and worse and worse, even when we make too much effort for it. But what Baba says is, you make effort to establish the new world. You make effort to establish the sanskars, and you do seva so that other people also make the effort to create the sanskars through which we can all go back to the new world again. So Baba says, don't make efforts to make this old world better. Because you see, this old world, even if you try to make it better, so Baba says, even if there are people around you, just teach them gyan, so that if it's in their destiny, they will start making the effort to go to the new world. And if you just try to tell them to be virtuous and have values without they having any purpose of going to the new world, they are not going to have it. So, sometimes we are making these attempts, even as BKs. If you see, there are many people who are trying to just correct situations and correct souls around us. And Baba says, no, vinashkale vipreet buddhi vinashanti is a law. So those who will not know me, they will not reform themselves. And this big force of negativity in the world, this big force of lust in the world, this big force of vices in the world, you cannot stop anybody from its influence until and unless they take that step to understand Baba, to remember Baba. So our only effort is to follow Baba's Srimad and become pure and sow the seeds in the intellects of other souls so that if they have the part, they will also start making the effort to go to the new world. So this is, and if it is not in somebody's part, and you then don't trouble yourself, so do you know that there is in spirituality, you have to be very wary of one thing, that you pull out other people from the quagmire of vices. So everybody is stuck in the daldal of vices, in the quagmire of vices, and you try to pull them out. But if you are getting sucked in, then you stop and you fill yourself with strength before you again try to pull them out. And if you are not finding that balance, then that means that your intellect is riddled with some vice. Because we if we are getting affected, then I have to stop at that time and first fill myself with power, and then I have to try it. Otherwise, it is a desperate attempt. And that desperate attempt arises because I'm not doing seva. There is some attachment, something else driving me. So Baba tells us that all these attempts are not going to materialize. And I gave you examples about a health minister talking about fidelity. And do you know what happened to that health minister? He was replaced immediately. So as soon as he started saying that, we are relying too much on contraceptive measures, and just, why don't we promote Indian values, and why don't we just, ask everybody to have an attitude of fidelity. And then all the organizations who were working, they got very upset and they said, do you think that we are not doing a good job and our approach is all wrong? And then they replaced him. So this is how it will be in this world, because you cannot make somebody embrace values. Just think about, so I have understood one thing in this Brahmin life, that there is only one kind of discipline which is sustainable, and that is self-imposed discipline. If discipline is imposed forcefully or externally, it will not be sustained for very long, because people don't like force. And even if it's a good thing, if it is done with force, they will resist it. They will not love it or appreciate it or embrace it. And Baba says that is why, our only purusharth is to become pure, and our only seva is to sow the seed of knowledge with love in everybody's heart. And according to their part in drama, leave them to respond. The best you can do is sow the seed and water that seed with good wishes. And what happens if you try to force a plant to come out of a seed? You kill the plant. You cannot force a plant to come out of a seed. So your job is to just sow the seed of knowledge and water it with good wishes, and water it with knowledge every day in a certain amount, so that that soul, if the soul has a part, then they will awaken. So Baba tells about these things, that these attempts that people are making to make this Kali Yuga heaven is not going to happen. And if you really want to go to heaven, then you have to join hands with Baba and start practicing what Baba says. And when you do that, then you go to a world where there's no disease, there is no untimely death, the lifespan is certain, And then the Baba says that in that world, even the walls are made of golden bricks, and then machines will make bricks of gold. And then in that world, in that gold also diamonds will be studded. So Baba says you will go to that world where there is finite population, there are no problems. So all that will happen, but only if you follow Srimad. And Baba also today tells us that I tell you the secret of the tassel, the mala that everybody is rotating. So, in every religion, people are rotating the mala, and Baba says, who are the beads in that rosary that everybody is rotating? So Baba says, those children who are my right hand in the establishment of the new world order, they are the beads of the rosary. And Baba says, I am Shiv Baba on the top of the rosary, and then beside me there is Baba Mama, and then all the other children are the other beads of the rosary, those who are, surrendering their body, mind, and wealth in the creation of the new world. And Baba also today talks about death without cause. In Hindi, it is called Khune Nahe Khel. And this is a very interesting concept that Baba talks about. So, Baba says, in the end, there will be death without cause. And if you look around, then that time has come. And this is the time when you see that the innocent and the seemingly, people who have done no wrong, they are suffering and they are dying. And then, what happens is you start questioning that, and you start getting into shock with that, and you start questioning the whole, there are lots of questions, endless questions that come to you. Why is this happening? And why are little children suffering? And why are the old suffering? And why are the poor suffering? And this and that. And Baba says, this is how it's going to happen in the end, because it is the time of, time when everybody has to go back. And those who did something will go back, those who didn't do something will go back. Everybody has to go back. And Baba says, and I have understood from Baba's Gyan that Baba always makes us, practice certain attitudes. And one of the important practices that Baba gives us is the practice of being a detached observer. So you observe and don't think. And how do you get into that loop of overthinking? The moment you start asking why this, why that, why me, why them, then this overthinking starts. So Baba says you don't have to do that. Whatever is happening, just be a detached observer. Otherwise, what will happen is, in this time of bloodshed without cause, you will get caught up in this why and what. And then you will, lose your state. And I saw one sister, and she was very regular in class, and she had very good understanding of Gyan also. But when elections started happening in her state, then, there's so much of noise and propaganda. And then she started getting caught up in all the news and, why is this happening and why is that happening? And then, suddenly she started speaking in a language of why and what, which she was not speaking for very long. And she stopped being a detached observer. And then, Gyan wouldn't sit in her intellect. So you have to understand this thing, that whatever is happening is there in the drama, and this bloodshed without cause is also there in the drama. And Baba is saying in the Murli that it will be without cause. So when you say why, what, you want a cause. But Baba is telling you beforehand that it will be bloodshed without cause. So don't go into any kind of why and what. and just pay attention to your purusharth and your seva, and just be detached observer from everything else. And if you can do something about it, do it. If you can't do something about it, be a detached observer. Okay, so this is how we will prepare and go to the new world. And Baba says we are the instruments. So we have to pay attention to all that Baba says. Only then will we be able to prepare the world and prepare ourselves to go to the new world. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti Devi.
Om Shanti.
I like very much this thing that while doing any seva, first of all, we have to check whether I'm in the remembrance of God or not right now. And while doing the seva, if I'm getting the instant happiness, it shows that it is my virtuous deed.
Correct.
And if I'm feeling sorrowful or low, then it means it is a sinful deed.
Yes, yes.
So we have it the attention while doing seva all the time.
Yes, and we are always on seva. Yes, so
Yes,
there is, so everything that we do in the Lokik world is also seva. Yes. Okay. Om Shanti. Anybody else?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Today Baba said that you should have attitude of guest while living in this old world. And whenever we forget this, we again get caught in the loop of me and mine, I and mine, consciousness, and then again we perform sinful actions. Because soul has become unconscious at that time from knowledge.
Correct.
So bring back to the consciousness. This is the effort.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Hanji Nirmal Bhai. Unmute yourself, Nirmal Bhai. You muted again. Hanji.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Today Baba says that we have to become an instrument to establish the land of immortality. But there are no sins or any actions to defame others. And the other one, when we do that, we are able to transform from Tamo Pradhan to Sato Pradhan. Therefore, that is one. And the other one, Baba said yesterday, that he is the Lord of the donation of life. Therefore, I think Baba has given our donation of life every moment. And therefore, we have to be in remembrance of the Father. That is an important thing. And that also transforms us from Sato Pradhan, from Tamo Pradhan.
Yes.
That's a good point. And today, Baba talking about the accumulation of powers. And he said we have to power the gathering, power of love, and the power of cooperation. And we should have the power of tolerance also.
Correct.
When we have all these, then Maya won't be able to come and attack us.
Yes.
And therefore, that's a very good yukti Baba has given.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
Yes.
And thank Baba.
Thank
That's very nice.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Om Shanti.
Okay, Om Shanti.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. Okay. Menkaben, from where are you sitting? Hanji. Unmute.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I am in Pickering, Ontario, Canada.
Okay. Okay. Welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.